What's up, guys? We're back. This is the Dustin LeBleu CEO Podcast, and I'm joined by, as always,
Austin Ray. And I mean, I don't think it's going to ever change.
No,
really.
it's not. I don't even know why we intro ourselves anymore. I don't even know why I said that. Like, as always, blah, blah, blah.
I guess
that's how I do it. That's how I run.
I guess maybe like one of, if you're a new person or you're just now tuning into the podcast, now you know who we are.
That's true. Yeah.
So we're going to, I guess, do this one a little bit different. I'm going to try and not be so like politically correct. And so
You said it last week.
Yeah, I know. I after I got called out, some guy called me a PC, and I literally thought he was calling me a computer. And I was like, do I sound like a robot?
You sound like Alexa, man.
Speaking of Alexa, you bought one. I thought you bought new shoes because, I mean, there's like a new pair of kicks at the house every week.
No,
but
that was the Alexa because I want to learn it, man. Or the Amazon Echo, I guess we'd call it, not whatever.
I mean, I know
the name.
Calling it Alexa, it kind of sounds... Yeah, little do you guys know.
Yeah.
But anyway, we kind of want to talk about Insane Labz. So we often relate, the business-related topics back to Insane Labz. I mean, we, honest to God, relate just about everything back to it.
Well, it's only natural.
Yeah, for me especially, considering that's the company that I started with, and then, so on and so forth. But really, this one's going to be, I guess, just more laid back and kind of giving people a little more insight and, I guess, hindsight really for us as to how everything started.
Instead of talking about like how to run a business, we just talk about how we run ours. Hey, make it simple, right?
I like that. So, Insane Labz is a different brand. I mean,
it's a different breed.
That's just plain and simple. It looks different. It functions different. It's not your typical, oh, hey, I'm going to stick this into a nutrition store and call it good there. We didn't stop there. The image definitely started a whole new sector, I think, especially in the supplement field. It
did, man, and you'll see like a lot of brands are kind of like try to do the same thing now, but whenever it first came out, 2014, it was really different. It really still is, I guess, in a way. I mean, it's got the whole, it comes from like movie ideas, and like we've said in the past, we have a movie company, or actually two, and a lot of the ideas come from that. So it's like it kind of took the industry by storm, and it was so different and unique that customers are forced to look at it. Like we have people every day be like, oh, like this caught my eye or whatever, and that's a good example of something being different and making its way into the marketplace by catching eye.
And it just so happened that like in the 15 seconds it took you and Jordan to create the original Psychotic label.
Yeah.
It just so happened that like the next week, that whole like scary clown epidemic where clowns were popping up across the U.S. just happened to start.
That was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just coincidental, huh?
Yeah, it was weird.
just coincidental.
We got blamed for a lot of that. That was pretty funny too.
And then like the whole It thing when they started teasing the movie that started, and then the actual movie, it's just like it just happened to bolster.
Which I think the clown thing probably was for the movie It, I would assume. I don't know if they had something to do with that or what, but we got a lot of fingers pointed toward us.
But hey, smart marketing. Which
I don't give a shit.
Hey, I mean, I dig the image. It's definitely it's very different to design around.
Well, let me tell you the story about how that actually came into fruition. Like, originally we were doing a company called Retail Exclusive Distribution. And what that was just straight, direct. We were distributing. We just came out of, from like Europa Sports and things like that. So we were doing self-distribution. So we were going to come up with a concept of 6 companies, like one being a real like natural product line, like Earth Shield it was called. Then we had like Logan Carter, and we had like 4 or 5 other ones. And there was one slot left. We needed the 6th one. And I was like, hey, man, I always like these scary movies. Let's do something based off this, something kind of like unique. And we literally threw those together, like you said, in like 15 to 30 minutes. Insane Veins and Psychotic, boom. Like in terms of the label, I'm saying. And turns out like the first like week we started selling it, like everybody was going crazy for it. Like people were like, where do we buy it? Where do we buy it on the website? Where's your website? We didn't have a website at the time. Had to throw one up, and boom, it just happened.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Like a year and a half.
Yeah. I mean, it's only 3.5 years old. It's not a very old brand.
Yeah. And to see where we're at now, that's what people don't get. It's 3.5 years old.
Yeah, dude,
but then what was
really
funny is like we're like the only brand at that time that had that like that style, that image, the type of banners we were putting out, the media and the content, and the marketing style that we were using for it. And then the trolls popped up. Everybody that wanted to copy started copying.
Well, and what's kind of funny about those is like we kind of like turn them on themselves. Like we kind of like even like speaking of like trolls, like I'm thinking of like customers and stuff that are being, making fun of it and things like that. Well, having Insane Labz, it allows you to make fun of it back and just like, you kind of beat them to the punch. So it doesn't really matter.
So with the brand itself too, I mean, like, I said marketing style. We've done that a little bit differently than you would, like your typical like clean image brand, or really we've done it a little bit different than I want to say like the majority of the, other supplement companies. I mean, the rest of the space, we've just done things differently.
Yeah, it's appealing because it's different. Like if you look at most supplement brands, it's a real clean cookie cutter image, a bodybuilder or a fitness gal, we'll call it.
Fitness gal.
That's like gal.
Yeah,
we'll call it a fitness gal for the show. But it's like that's what you see though. You see her like before and after images and all that shit. And like when we started, I was like, man, I'm not gonna do any pictures of people. Like, just gonna be like, this is what it's gonna be. It's gonna be built around this horror image and like no people, no before and after pictures, none of that bullshit. Just here it is. Yeah. This is what we got.
Built around horror, not whores.
Not whores, right? And not saying the fitness gals are whores.
No,
but I've seen some whores. In the fitness industry, man. I have seen them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. You've been to like the Olympia and stuff.
I was
like,
gonna say, man,
whoa, that's a stripper pole. That's a stripper pole.
Like, what are you guys trying to market here? That's it's funny because they'll have like the supplements off to the side, and then the main stage is like, that's a pole, and you're barely clothed.
Yeah.
That's a loincloth.
Buy this pre-workout. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Take this pre-workout and lose your clothes.
Well, I don't want to get too far into that, but like
no,
that is the industry in a nutshell, though. It really is, man. There's some, I'm not gonna call it any names. Maybe next week I will, but this week,
we're keeping it clean. PG-13 at least.
There's some really bad players.
Although
man,
when I say PG-13 though, man, like I think they've like downgraded the movie scale. Like regards, I'm going to tie this in. Stay with me here, guys. Watch this. I'm going to tie this in. So like, we went and saw A Quiet Place. My wife and I did.
I did too. Yeah.
That was rated PG-13.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Why wouldn't I figured that'd be rated R? But then
they're like death doesn't matter.
I'm like a massive pussy when it comes to horror movies. So like,
raccoons' lives don't matter.
So you finally saw what I was talking about. Yeah. But anyway, like that's something else that we've done differently. Like as a company, Insane Labz, like we didn't take the typical path. Dustin, you mentioned movies earlier, and we've talked about it in previous podcasts, but that's something that no one else has ever done. No one ever tethered or tied in a character or an actual movie character from a movie that they've produced or made into their own supplement line. In fact, that product came along, we're talking about Schizo, because of a movie.
Yeah, because of the Canada. And like, for instance, like Insane was kind of psychotic, like we used like real characters that we even produced ourselves, like created ourselves, which was quite unique. I mean, I don't know of any that have done something off of like movie characters, like horror movie characters in general, much less produce their own films.
Yeah, they'll just take an image off like, Google search or, maybe you'll get the few that'll buy the exclusive
clip art
rights. Yeah, from like Shutterstock or something.
Yeah.
And,
which we do. I mean, we do that as well, but like we try to like change some things and things like that, not just go with like, boom, here it is, a little clip art picture and shit.
Not being so cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, like, so we even, kind of expand upon like the two movie companies. I mean, that's just something, with Insane Labz that's kind of, hell, I mean, really that branched off of it. If it wasn't for Insane Labz, those two things probably wouldn't have happened.
They would not have happened. So I basically got contacted by one director, he saw the line and I forgot who introduced us, but he was the one that, we got to talking about it. And I was like, look, I'm interested in movies, obviously, because I'm doing this line. And then he kind of set it all up and helped me produce the first film, which was Insane, which was off of Insane Film Productions, which is our like real low budget film company. We don't really do anything with that anymore, but now we have Darkwood Pictures where we do higher budget films.
Yeah.
Not like high budget films like Avatar or something like that, but like, we spend a decent amount on them.
And really, if you think about it too, though, like Darkwood, the business relations that you have there with Ray and Randall were formed all the way back from La Cheek.
They were, yeah. They were formed.
Didn't they do a couple commercials for you for some products?
Yeah, Randall did. I met Randall first. I think he did something for like Melt. It was a competition we had, like a video competition. And he sent something in. I was like, damn, this is pretty impressive, man. Like, this is like, it was nothing like what anybody else sent in. It
looked like
actually like real. Yeah, like it looked real. And so I kind of teamed up with those guys, and I met Raymond through Randall, Raymond Wood, who's the director. And excuse me, but yeah, it's been a good relationship ever since. Talk to him, every week, and make some good shit happen.
Yeah, and they've even filmed some stuff for us in the music scene, and that's kind of a fun one too. It's like how we got started in music. Yes, Insane Labz has a music division. I mean, really, we all, you and I specifically. I mean, like even Manny and I know Jordan digs some music. I've kind of turned him into a metalhead within the recent weeks. Sorry for that, guys. Everyone in the office. That
actually. It's better than Bieber,
or NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. But really, like we've all had this fondness for music, and it just so happened that with one of the brands, an artist happened to, I find it funny that of all things you reach out to a supplement brand, but it worked. Like
they all seek us out. Actually, it's kind of weird.
We were already talking about it. Like we had already talked about previously doing music, and it just so happened that in that time frame, somebody messaged us, and that somebody ended up being Ozzy, and he's the first artist that we've signed. And Insane Labz music is going to go places. Like
it's actually starting to. It's really growing, and I think he reached out on like Labor Day or something like that. It was like a weird day, just to like pop through the emails. I was like, "Who is this?" Checked him out. I was like, "Oh, it's actually pretty good."
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation. Get on the phone with him that Labor Day afternoon, and hell, we had a deal signed. I think he came down to Arkansas from Miami like a week later.
Yeah, we had like a 360 contract already done and all that, and I mean signed up. And what's cool is like in turn we've used music from him and like put it behind videos that Raymond and Randall have done to promote Insane Labz, or vice versa, where we've used Ozzy and they recorded his music video. So it's just like a kind of like a vertically integrated giant encompassed.
Well, that's what Insane Labz is. So, dude, it's so different. It allows, I think, people to reach out to us and just offer us opportunities.
Yeah.
And that's it's really happened. Like the movies kind of came as an opportunity. The music came as an opportunity.
And I'm over here with this shit
apparel.
Grin. I got this shit-eating grin on my face right now because talking about opportunities. But I'm not going to really expand on that right now because, it's
we got some big ones right now that are under wraps. You're right, dude. We got some really big ones.
But you did mention apparel. My bad, dude. I kind of cut you off on that.
No, you're good.
So apparel, yeah, man, that's been a real fun game. I really enjoy it specifically. I love to design like streetwear. I never knew that I would enjoy it, and then
you're good at that.
I made a shirt, and then another shirt, and then another shirt.
We keep going, keep going.
Yeah,
and it keeps selling and selling. So it's like, I mean, it worked out really well. It worked out really well in that aspect.
And that's what's weird is like we literally took this grunge company. I'm gonna call it grunge because really we do have like this grunge aesthetic to our company.
Sure.
And we made it work in streetwear. Who in the hell would have thought that these two things that are polar opposite would somehow become symbiotic?
Sure.
I would never.
But we let it come to us kind of, though, if you think about it. So it all kind of stems off of Ozzy, really, if you think about it. Like that's the kind of time we started doing some streetwear. Like boom.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the type of people that are buying some of our products, and this is the type of clothing we could be making. You know? And I like that stuff anyway.
Well, we initially started with like the Dilated Thoughts series. That was the idea for Insane Labz clothing. Technically speaking, it was called Dilated Thoughts at the time, and then that idea, it worked, but at the time I think that was really in a different type of culture than where I think that's when we noticed with Ozzy. Like, okay, so this is the culture we should market to. This is the lifestyle we should market to. This sector doesn't really appeal with our brand, so we did some rebranding on the name. We just literally went with Insane Labz clothing. Yep. And then we started rolling out some fresh designs, and it's just kind of been in the making ever since then.
And designs are fun, man. Like anybody out there that hasn't really messed with clothing and stuff, it's really interesting once you get into it. It's like your mind starts thinking of stuff like every night, or mine does anyway. I'm like, what can we do next? What's next? It's always like, what's next on clothing?
Yeah, I mean,
it's really fun to do.
Like you came up with, I mean, literally, you've pretty much came up with every design prior to the Strength Revolution shirt, and hell, even you had the idea. You had the idea for the Boxing Tiger shirt. You said you came in and you had it's when Gabe was here, and you had on that boxing shirt.
Oh, the Mike Tyson shirt, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was you or him showed me that website, and then it was I saw that Bruce Lee shirt, and I was like, oh my god, this is so killer. And you're like, hey, look, I'm actually wearing a shirt from this website. Oh, look, there it is. And I'm like, I'm going to design that.
That's crazy, right?
I mean, I didn't steal a design, but, I kind of used that as inspiration. But that's the clothing side of it. And, moving on from that, Insane Labz, we've branched into gaming.
Dude, I think this has probably been the biggest, and most, I think the easiest like thing that we've got into.
Yeah.
Not easiest, but it's like it makes the most sense off of like the imaging and stuff that we have to go into the, insanefocus.gg. We started with Insane Focus, now we're into the GG, and like it crushes it, man. I mean, we've been in it for, what has it been, 2.5 years?
Yeah, 2.5 years. And we're in it now. We're pretty vested in it. We haven't really made any monster moves just yet. Again, I have that smirk on my face because boy, do I have some big things that I want to talk about. But I don't want to receive death threats from Dustin after this podcast.
Yeah, let's not do that.
So we're not going to talk about it. So we're just going to leave it there. But we're about to really change what we're doing there.
So just to put it in perspective, we got some pretty big names that are coming on board right now. Like some giant names actually. So they're coming in. Like I can't say the names right now, but I think it's going to take it to the next level in terms of gaming and that whole market that we're playing into. And I'm impressed with that whole side of things. Like I go home and I see my son playing games. It's like it just makes sense.
Yeah. And the fact that from when we first got into it, it was still very disorganized. And over the course of the last year and a half, the fact that like all these professional organizations that have been procured by, actual professional organizations such as NBA teams and whatnot, like players actually have like solidified salaries. They have health care. They're treating it like an actual sport, which I think is cool.
I think it should be, though. It's so popular now with, the younger generation and even like some of the older ones.
Yeah.
It's like it makes sense, and you should get paid if you're playing at a high level and people are watching it. Why not? And honestly, what really solidified it for me is when we went down to California and we had to deal with Echo Fox and meeting with Rick Fox and kind of seeing the passion behind what he was doing. Like, I just thought it was cool, man.
Yeah,
and I thought it was a cool deal.
I was going to kind of bring Ellie's name into the mix. So Ellie Deshay, who works for, at the time, worked for VFD and Echo Fox.
Does he work for Echo Fox now, or is it just
to be honest with you, man, I haven't spoke to him ever since. I think once or twice since we were in, where were we at, Hollywood?
Yeah.
No, it was Beverly Hills.
We were around there somewhere.
Yeah, we were actually. They got Netflix's old office. That office was bomb. But anyway, while we were there, he even mentioned to us like now they're not necessarily forcing, they're encouraging fitness regimens amongst players. Like they're not letting them sleep until noon and so on and so forth. They're actually having them get out of bed, meet a trainer at the gym. And like, that's where our brand is succeeding in the gaming industry, is the fact that gaming and fitness are becoming synonymous.
Yeah, it's not necessarily just GG. It's like people that buy GG that are gamers are buying our creatine, they're buying, the amino acids. They're buying Alien Energy. They're buying Alien Recovery. Like those kind of things have really, we've had a jump in sales from gaming. And I really believe that, dude. Like just from some of our ambassadors, our gaming ambassadors, that's really helped a lot. And like what you said with the whole fitness thing, it's big, man. Yeah. It's just big for them in general, and it's big for us as well.
Yeah. And, that kind of leads us into the ambassador program, that in and of itself is a powerhouse. Yeah. And I'm going to kind of tether this together with us being a worldwide powerhouse. So not only, of course, we're international. We're an international brand now.
Yes.
We're huge. I mean, Jason over here to my right could speak about that more than I could. My knowledge on that is rather limited. What was the country on the board? I was like, does that say, what was it?
Sri Lanka?
Sri Lanka. I was like, does that say Sri Lanka? Like
Sri Lanka.
I was like, I thought I saw Sri Lanka. And you're like, well, you did.
Yeah, you saw that.
But,
Nepal, Jason's you just got an account in Nepal. And I was like, what? Nepal? I thought Yeti was there. That's about it.
I was going to say, isn't there like 10 people that live there?
Speaking of Yeti, I'm going to take this in a weird spot real quick. But did you know, you probably don't even know who this guy is, but from Coast to Coast AM, Art Bell.
Yes.
Dude, he passed away, dude. And I was like,
are you serious?
Man. Dude, I listen to Coast, like them old episodes and stuff all the time with Art Bell, and man, it makes me sad.
Dude, the only reason I know who Art Bell is purely because when I log into the Insane Labz YouTube account, literally everything is about Coast. Like, there's like a whole dedicated playlist of recommended videos, and it's all Coast to Coast. And
I listen to it at night, man, and I'm like that weird dude that listens to it. But that goes into the Insane Labz, and the whole like mindset behind it and the weird theories and the quantum and all that shit,
Yeah. But, with the ambassador program, though, not to do a complete 360 back to
my bad.
No, you're good.
Art Bell passed away. Kind of freaked me out.
Rest in peace, Art Bell.
Yes, rest in peace.
But yeah, the ambassador program, it's an international thing as well. It's becoming one. Initially, we were U.S. based. You know, we were having some slight increased shipping costs overseas and whatnot, and of course with this,
well, like humongous.
yeah, I say slight, like monster.
Yeah.
Cost. And then the stringent. What are they considered FDAs? And all
Well,
that
it's like it
across the
depends
border?
on
like what are they called? Or is it the same thing internationally?
It's the same type of organization they have. Like in Australia, it'd be TGA. You know, in different areas,
Yeah.
it's just called something different, but it's the same type of deal. It's just different policies. So, you know, like our regular psychotic can't ship to Australia, for instance, or can't ship to the EU.
Yeah.
You know, we have to have a special version. So
Yeah, and
it's
keep
kind
in,
of a pain in the ass, but
I was gonna say, keep in mind, guys, that the reason being for that is because hell, even some places are like, oh my god, caffeine.
mm-hmm.
Like, I even read the other day on a Reddit board, I think it was on the Nootropic board, that the FDA, even in the United States, is starting to like hammer down on powdered caffeine.
Yes,
Like,
I saw that too.
like they're like, what, caffeine?
And it's mostly like caffeine that's just caffeine by itself, because you know people are taking 4 or 5 scoops of fucking 400 milligrams or some shit like that. You know, it's like just dumb shit. It's not so much for like psychotic to where it's like, hey, there's this much in a scoop. You know, it's not
Yeah.
all caffeine.
So, you know, let's kind of talk about like I guess the minds behind everything. So people are listening to us and they're like, okay, well these guys seem semi-normal at best.
well,
Like,
maybe.
and then, you know, they may see videos and be like, damn, Austin, you're skinny and don't look like you ever work out. Well, your assumptions are probably right. I do work out though. Had a kid. Pretty much lost everything.
I like how you
when
talk about like you actually had the kid though.
I didn't have a kid. My
Like
wife
you
had
actually carried
my
it.
wife had a kid, and
Yeah.
I gained all the weight. Let's just be honest. That's the best way to
hell?
put it.
That's awesome, man.
But I mean, like that's my excuse. Trying to get out of that. You know, I'm trying to be better. You know, like work out and shit like
Yeah,
that. But
yeah,
Dustin,
yeah.
you've got fitness knowledge. Like that's where the products, you know, for Insane Labz and the brands tethered to it, like dark metal hashtag, like those, like
Yeah.
the formulas and all that. That comes from knowledge that you've had over the years.
Oh yeah, I've been doing it. Like my first job, not my first job, but like one of my first jobs was working at GNC, which I know you guys are like, oh, GNC, but this was GNC back, 20 years ago, man.
Yeah.
Like I actually learned some shit from GNC before it was just about gold card and that kind of stuff. So, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing business for 20 years. I've been in some type of fitness industry for the better part, of at least 20 years. So, been working out since I was 17. I don't work out as much as I used to. I mean, I'm more engulfed in the whole business side of things, but
Well, you guys have been getting back.
I love fitness. So
You had what happened? You tore what'd you tear?
tore my labrum.
Yeah. I was gonna say
pussy.
labes something, but it totally just now realized what I was gonna say, and it is definitely
I
not.
had that
labrum.
labrum problem, and then I had that damn sciatic nerve, man. If any of you had the sciatic nerve issue, it's just a real bitch. God
Yeah.
dang.
I'm sitting here trying to think of excuses, guys, and
It's my excuse for not doing squats right now,
he's looking at me because like I am the world's worst about. I am the epitome of dude that skips leg day. Like, it's bad. I've got to start doing it more often because once a year doesn't cut it.
Well, I think one thing to be said too about the whole fitness industry is like you have a lot of guys that are just like juiced out of their mind
Yes.
that own a company or don't own a company. They're just like the face of it that talk and like, oh, I use this supplement and that supplement from this brand. This is how I got this way. And I've never believed in that, man.
Dude.
I've always been like, I've not done steroids. Like I just do my own thing. And like, so what I get is from my own supplements. That's
Yeah.
just what it is.
I mean, dude, yeah, so much misleading truth, which Insane Labz doesn't do that. Like,
No.
we're not going to tell you, hey, you can gain 50 pounds off of insane gains. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a thing.
No,
It's all
that's
about
never a thing.
It's all about that diet. It's all about the proper nutrition and all that good stuff too.
Well, it's like with our most popular product, Psychotic. We always tell people, it's an energy booster. You're not, we're not gonna gain size and some crazy amount of muscle from Psychotic. That's not what this product was designed to do.
And to this day, I will still see tweets from people like, "Hey, gained 10 pounds this past month from Insane Labz Psychotic." I'm like, "Wow,
The fuck? What are you putting in that shit?
yeah. Are you sure that's legit psychotic?" Or
Yeah.
Like,
And this isn't a talk down on the product. It's just,
It's-
factually, it's incorrect when people say that.
No,
Like, I don't know how that would even happen.
It's a
you know?
stimulant.
It's a stimulant product, yeah.
It's not
If you took Insane Games, maybe, or Muscle Candy,
hey.
some Blamas,
Oh boy, that's
gain
been
about 2 pounds in your dick, and then,
I was waiting for it.
yeah.
Oh my god, dude, we got to tell that story real quick before we.
All
before
right,
we
I'll
wrap
let you
this up.
start. I'll let you start that one. So we're like messing around with this new ingredient called Blamus. And then
Yeah.
boom.
So So Dustin's got this new ingredient, that comes in, and you mixed it up together with we had like another focus product that we were kind of messing around with. So we mixed the Blomus in with it, and we were taking it before the podcast. Like we were taking it, mixing it up, so we could, have some fluent speech, whatnot, but then, test out this new test booster. And about a week into it, before we started talking on the podcast, Dustin, you were just like, man, so what kind of side effects have you noticed from, have you noticed any, like what kind of positives and, whatnot? And I'm like, well, it kind of makes me a little bit tired sometimes. And that might just be, because we're taking it after the gym. And then, like, man, this is awkward, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's giving me boners like 24/7. Like, dude, even the slightest breeze, it's just like, what the hell, man? Like,
that was crazy.
Dude, it's just like, this shit works better than Viagra. And it's like, why? Doesn't make any sense, dude. And then, and then from there, we just started like trolling everyone in the company. Yeah. They were just like, hey, you guys got to try this. Do it for like a week straight, though, and tell us what you think about it.
And then everybody said the same thing. They're like, yeah, I kind of noticed this. Like, yep. So put it in muscle candy. There you go, guys. Hey, enjoy. Yeah. Enjoy.
Yeah, that's that, you know what? Saying that, to friends and everybody here at the company sounds funny, but then when you say it on a podcast to potentially thousands of people, it's just like, well, fuck, I feel weird now.
Hey, but it's real though, dude. Like, that's the point of a podcast, is to be real, right?
Yeah,
not sit here and talk like a PC like Austin does.
Oh god, I've got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Apparently I sound, super computerized. But anyway, let's wrap it up with like the general evolution of Insane Labz. So you've heard about everything that we've done. Mm-hmm. People know where we started. We gave them the idea. You and Jordan did the labels for Insane Veins and Psychotic 15 to 30 minutes. Like your knowledge of the ingredients, blah, so on and so forth. Everything's gone on. Here we are today. And the evolution has already been a wild ride. Yeah. I mean, this company's gone international. We're making a massive footprint in the industry. And that's been on our own accord. Mm-hmm. Guys, I'm going to say this right now. If you've stuck with us this far, I want you to stay put, and over the course of the next few months, even the next couple, I'm going to dumb it down and say over the course of the next year, I really want you guys to pay attention and keep a close eye on what Insane Labz is about to do, because we're about to turn it up from 100%. And it's going to go to about 300, 400, 500%.
Yeah.
And I know that's vague. It makes really...
Well, you're going off of growth, kind of. You're going off like growth of like per year,
Yeah. And without saying too much, I'm excited.
Dude, I think it's one of those like humbling experiences that we've had so far, 3.5 years of like crazy growth. But now it's like, now that we have some cool partnerships coming up, it's like, we're about to take it from 0 to 100 really quickly. And the partnerships are huge, man. I can't really stress that enough. And I can't wait till we can kind of talk more about it. But I think you're going to see us move into new markets. You're going to see us move into probably some really big spaces that you wouldn't even think about us in, maybe. Like some really, really different types of stuff, Like we have the hashtag line. We have just different stuff coming out that's just really benefiting the whole brand, really. And everything's been really positive. And our customers, our ambassadors, our people that love the brand just are help pushing it, man, and it's just great to see.
I was gonna say, visually speaking, there's gonna be not on Insane Labz like products, but visually speaking, there's gonna be some upgrades.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, honestly, dude, have you like our videos and shit that we put out? Like some of the like that's one thing you said, like watch what we're doing, like watch some of the content that we're putting out now, some of the videos, some of the esports videos we're putting out. They're like crazy. Yeah. Like they're top notch.
And they're about to turn into a whole different animal.
We got a psychotic one coming up, don't we? Psychotic Gold?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I wasn't supposed to say that. I don't know. I think we got one coming up, guys. It's going to be badass.
Yeah. We have a Psychotic Gold video coming up. In fact, I need to put all these onto YouTube.
Yeah, we do actually. We need to put those out there. Because we can kind of show people.
Yeah. Those videos that you're referencing, like we've used them as ads.
Right.
So they've been on the main social media platforms. Like they haven't been on an actual like video aggregating platform like YouTube or Vimeo or anything of that nature.
Let's actually do that. Let's put them on YouTube because I think they're such good videos. I think it's like something for someone that wants to like learn about video and stuff. They can go check those out and kind of get an idea of what, like how we stepped our game up and some stuff like that. So
exactly. But anyway, I think that's for the amount of time that we've talked here, I think that's a pretty good answer to the question of why for Insane Labz.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that was literally the question I wrote down was Insane Labz, why?
Yeah, we just had an example yesterday. We're just like, let's just talk about Insane Labz a little bit. People want to hear about it. Why not?
Yeah, and if you guys just happen to have any questions about the brand, any of the sectors that we're in, anything that we missed, or really just any questions in general, make sure that you drop a comment down below if you are on YouTube listening to this, and if you guys want to hit Dustin up on any of his social media accounts, you can find him at Dustin LeBleu CEO on Twitter, Instagram. You're also on LinkedIn, the most poppin' platform out there.
Poppin'.
You can even message any of the Insane Labz accounts as well. It's just at Insane Labz. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube,
Vero,
whatever
the hell it's called. I don't even know.
Hell, we're on everything. But anyway,
yeah.
Drop a comment, ask questions, all that good stuff. I'm
Much
Austin.
love. Peace out.
Are you Dustin?